Hi, everybody. It's Julie for ellenhutson.com. Welcome to Hello Monday, or actually, it's Tuesday because we needed to bump today's video by a day. I'm going to be returning back to basics in this project today, stamping with color. And I think sometimes we forget just how fun and easy and how great it looks when we just use simple ink stamping to colorize our cards. So I've taken a quarter sheet of Neenah Solar White, and I've got a trio of ink colors here. These are water-based dye inks by Catherine Pooler, and I just grabbed a collection that just looked, a trio of colors that looked kind of citrusy to me. It's got that whole summery, citrusy vibe going on. And I like to ink up by keeping my stamp, especially when I'm working on a acrylic block like this. I will put the image up and I'll use the ink pad from above and ink from that direction because I find I can gauge much better whether I got complete coverage on the stamp or not, because using just a single acrylic block, I'm only going to get one shot at this, and I'm going to be changing colors and repeat stamping this image, so I just want to make sure I get it right every time I impress it. So to switch colors here, I moved from Tiara to Lemongrass, and it's kind of a green, but because they're close enough, I could just tap it clean against some scratch paper, transitioning between the yellow color and the green color. But now I'm going to add some Bellini, and because I think that's going to be much more contrasty, I don't want to have any cross-contamination of my ink pads. So I'm going to clean that stamp off with my stamp chamois and then dry it thoroughly with a cloth, and then I'm ready to go with that kind of peachy pinky color. So now I've got the Bellini, and I'm going to repeat the same process, inking and stamping. I'm re-inking with every impression. I just didn't want you to watch me do that every time. It's the same every time, same thing. And now I've got this random pattern here, and I allowed the images to kind of overlap. So it just kind of makes this really nice, visually interesting effect going down the side of this panel and creating a background kind of effect. So now I've taken my Mini Misty and I have one image, the greeting, I want to get spot on. And here's where that Mini Misty really shines. You can take that image, get it lined up exactly where you want it, close the lid, get it mounted there, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink up. And the magnets there are holding my panel in place so it doesn't shift on me. I'm going to go ahead and close that lid and do a little bit kind of a CPR pressure there. Not seriously. I mean, I'm not really doing CPR. Just looks like it because I crossed my hands over. Now I did it twice because I didn't get it as black as I wanted on the first impression. It was no problem. I just re-inked the stamp and then stamped again exactly right over the same thing. And nobody will ever know. I had to stamp it twice. Now this is one of my favorite techniques or strategies for card making. It's just a really good fall to layout. It works for so many different kinds of cards. And I'm going to take a base card, again, Neenah Solar White, and going to score it here with my little mini scoreboard. And I'm using a stylus because I don't know where the scoring thing for my board went. It's somewhere. But anyway, I just grabbed a stylus and that worked pretty well. And I like to use a Teflon bone folder to crease my fold line because it gives me a really nice crisp fold. And I end up with a very professional looking card when I do that, rather than just taking cardstock and trying to fold it. And usually that doesn't work quite as nicely as doing that score line and then crisply creasing it with that bone folder there. So the other benefit to the bone folder is it doesn't leave a shine on the paper. So that's why I like using it. And I'm going to take those panels that I cut apart, and I know you were like, what? Why did you cut those apart? And I'm like, because it looks so cool when you put it back together this way. So I've got the bottom part mounted, the top part mounted. And now I'm going to take the section that had the sentiment on it, and I'm going to apply a strip of foam tape to the back of that. I'm going to peel that liner away partially, and this is just going to give me enough fudge room there to kind of make sure I've got it straight where I want it. And then when I press down really firmly and remove the rest of the liner tape, I know I got it where I wanted it. And then this looks like great as it is, but it's a great way to add some dimension to your card front. But we're going to take it just a little bit further. I'm going to step it up just a little bit. So I'm going to take another image from the set, and this is the lime or lemon. It can be either one. And I'm going to ink up with some the Gina K amalgam ink in black. This is a versatile ink because it can work with colored pencils, alcohol markers, water-based markers, and if you stamp on watercolor paper, you can watercolor over the top of it. I haven't actually tried it for that, but so I have it on good authority from another Stampin' Buddy that it works great for that. So I will be trying that soon. But anyway, I just want to do some really quick coloring, and this ink works well for that. And the Nina Solar White cardstock works well for that. So I'm just grabbing my Prismacolors in some kind of chartreusey colors, and I start with a medium, and then I come in with a little bit of a lighter color, just where I've left that highlight and white spot, and then I'll shade with a darker color so it looks like it has a little bit more dimension. And then I went ahead and die cut it out with the coordinating die, and then popped it up there by the sentiment with some more foam tape, and then I added a trio of black Nouveau drops because I think they're a fun way to embellish a card. Very quick, very easy, and always looks nice and sharp. And then I took some glossy accents and put a nice thick coating of that on top of my lime, and then I set it aside somewhere so it could dry nice and flat. So you don't want to have it tilting or it will pool up. And I think this is a great way to finish off a very clean, very simple card, but give it some extra visual interest. And I love the fact that the lemon slices were stamped in color, so you don't always have to color everything in. Just use the colorful ink pads that you have. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. You can find all the supplies and tools that were used in this project down below in the video description. And thanks for watching.